The game plan with Hunter Hughes, West Texas A&M, off of a big homecoming victory this past weekend. Buffs win 17-14 in thrilling fashion over Adams State. There were over 8,000 fans, Buffalo fans, that showed up to support WT at the homecoming game. So the Buff fans left with a smile on their face from Kimbrough Stadium as they were able to see WT improve its record to 3-4 in 2017. Looking forward to this Saturday, the Buffs will head east, actually southeast, as they'll take on rival Midwestern State in the Highway 287 Challenge. The Buffaloes and the Mustangs meeting for the second year in a row where Midwestern State is ranked in the top 5. Mustangs number 5 in the nation right now, and so that's WT's opponent. That game will start at 8 p.m., a little late start from Memorial Stadium this Saturday in Wichita Falls. Let's welcome in our head coach, Hunter Hughes. Coach, thanks for being with us as always.
Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate it.
All right, so let's talk about this Adams State win this past weekend, Coach. And really, you got a complete game. You got a game where your defense played well, obviously, and then the offense played well too. I want to start on the defensive side of the ball because that's where the game actually came down to your defense making a big play. You got less than 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. WT defense on the field, and Nick Rooney and the Grizzlies offense driving. He's scrambling around, running for his life, ends up getting hit. Ball comes loose. Frank Honing knocks the ball loose. Hayden Dennis falls on it, and the defense recovers. Basically, you get to run the clock out and secure the victory. So defensively, you forced 5 turnovers. Chaz Latinsky was our player of the game for Lone Star 98-7, had 3 forced turnovers, 2 picks, and a fumble recovery. Dalen Young was huge as well. Dalen with 14 tackles and 2 sacks. So talk about your defensive effort, which was phenomenal all night against a pretty potent offense.
Well, we knew that they were going to get some yards in the way they run their offense. They no huddle, go line up right away, and caught us a couple of times trying to get some calls in. They attacked the boundary side, which is kind of what we expected. And, you know, I'm a big believer that you give up the 3-yard to 5-yard dink and dunks, and they're going to make a mistake as they go down, and that's what they did when they tried to press and go deep. We got the pick on the very first deep ball. Yeah. Getting through there, you know, we just kept pushing it. Offense struggled a little bit in the first half to get things going, and but defensively we stood there and took the challenge on, and didn't give up any points until we got the ball. They got the ball inside the 10-yard line, and you know, still I think we've got to be more prepared to come in there and be a little stauncher in those situations, and not allow them to. You know, make them kick a field goal instead of giving up an easy touchdown.
Sure. And then the WT offense really got itself going. The run game, which we hadn't seen produce stats like they did Saturday, really the offensive line played well, and Warren Witherspoon was the recipient of that. He had 18 carries for 160 yards, had a touchdown as well. And then you mentioned it in the postgame with me. You felt like offensive coordinator Ryan McDonough did a good job of mixing up not just the run but with the pass as well. Threw the football even early on, some first downs, and so Justin Hotling was able to distribute the ball to several different receivers. Talk about your offensive effort.
Well, I think Coach McDonough mixed it up perfectly. Kept them off balanced. They were kept going into 2 or 3 different fronts, and he was had their number when they were going into their 4-down front, and we were able to get some creases, open some holes, and Warren ran inspired. I mean, it's been a while since he's run the ball. He still put it on the ground, which is something we've got to work on. Could have put the game away, but we put the ball on the ground and gave them a shot to come back at the end. But I thought the adjustments made at halftime to get the run game going were right on, and Justin, when you run the ball as well as we were doing the second half, it opens it up for Justin.
Yeah. Well, it's time. We're going to switch gears here. We're going to have some fun. It's time for one of my favorite segments with the coaches. In fact, this might be Coach Mattio's favorite segment for a coach's show. It's called This or That. So we're going to have some fun with Coach Hughes. I'm going to give you some really hard-hitting questions, and you're going to have to give me your gut instinct, basically, when I give you these questions. So are you ready, Coach?
Shoot them at me.
Okay, here we go. First one, in today's world with our technology, emojis are big. Whether you're texting.
What's an emoji?
Well, okay, maybe not for Coach Hughes. We'll explain it as we go on. But yeah, the emojis are big for texting and for emailing and Facebook and Twitter. So I want to know which emoji character you best associate yourself with. So which emoji fits Coach Hughes the best? And I'm going to give you 3 choices on this one. Okay. The first choice is the eyeballs emoji. Okay. The second choice is flexed biceps, which obviously symbolizes strength. And a third one that I'll throw in is the crossed swords. Some might even say crossed machetes, but yeah, crossed swords. So you got eyeballs, flex biceps, and crossed swords.
I get the little inside joke there. I don't think either of those. I think it would be more of the skull and crossbones of who I am.
Skull and crossbones. You see, he's already cheating on this game because you have to pick one of these. But we'll let you
Oh,
slide
okay.
on
I'd have to
first.
go with the cross swords.
Okay, so we're going cross swords. On to number 2. This is great. Which assistant coach, okay, if you're strolling through the JBK on the weekday and there's a dance-off and it's between these 2 assistant coaches, you got to pick one. Who's going to win the dance-off? Miles Coach Aver, defensive coordinator, or defensive line coach JT Haddon?
Miles Coach Aver.
No hesitation there. That tells us something about JT. Okay. Number 3, Halloween is coming up, Coach. My son he's 7. He's really excited, fired up for Halloween to dress up in a scary costume. He's going to be a wolf this year. Mom let him finally be something scary. And so my question to you is, what is the scarier Halloween costume in your opinion, zombies or clowns?
I would say a good clown costume could be pretty scary.
Okay.
Compared to a zombie.
I think Cale Steed would probably agree with you on that one as well. Number 4, you guys are about to take a long road trip, maybe not the longest that you've taken obviously this year, but it's near 5 hours of a drive to Wichita Falls. So we learned from Coach Hughes earlier this year that he loves country music. In fact, he loves the classic country music. So if you got to pick one of these guys for the entire road trip, you can only listen to one of these artists. Is it going to be Willie Nelson or Johnny Cash?
Johnny Cash.
Okay.
No doubt.
So same question, okay, and you got to pick one of these 2. Is it Jay-Z or is it Lil Wayne?
Johnny Cash.
Okay, so he's cheating yet again.
I don't even know.
Just go Jay-Z.
Sure, Jay-Z.
Okay, Jay-Z. Can't go wrong with Jay-Z.
Hold on, I think Lil Wayne sings
Sings
"Some
something
Down
that
for
you know.
Nothing." What is it? "I'm Down for Nothing" or something? I don't know what it is.
You do some research and
Yeah.
then maybe put that on the playlist, okay? All right, and the last
not
question,
gonna be on the
this is too great. The last question on this or that with Coach Hughes. If the game, and this is a broadcaster's dream by the way, if the game on Saturday has to come down to the last play of the game and the Buffs make one of these 2 plays to go ahead and beat the Mustangs, okay, which one are you going to pick? So last play of the game, is it going to be a Hail Mary pass into the end zone for a touchdown, obviously for the offense, or is it going to be a fumble by Midwestern State, picked up by one of your defensive players and run back for a touchdown, and that's the ball game? You got to pick one of those 2.
Wow.
It's tough.
If we're down, throwing a Hail Mary, we're down. If it's a fumble, I would assume that
Could be tied.
they're trying to run out the clock or trying to do something. I would say just the finality of it, I would take the Hail Mary.
Okay.
Just
there you
the Hail
go.
Mary
Defensive coach, but he goes with the offensive play. Love it. Okay. Showing some love to the offense. So, Coach, thanks for playing the game with us. I told you it's tough but fun, and yeah, you'll have to get
You got to
some
give me
pointers.
the rules before I do all this.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You got to talk to Coach Matteo, talk to Coach Brown about this. So we'll do better next time on this or that. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about our opponent this weekend, the Midwestern State Mustangs. They come in again, number 5 ranking in the country. They're 5-0, undefeated in conference play. This past Saturday, they beat Angelo State 41-27. That game was very close, really, up until the 4th quarter. That's when Midwestern State kind of exploded. They scored 22 points in the 4th quarter. But this team has a lot of balance. Bill Maskell, the head coach, been there a long time, and he's built up quite a program. But his team this year seems to have a lot of balance, especially on the offensive side of the football. They run for over 200 yards on the ground per game. They throw for over 250 yards, and they really don't turn the ball over. They only have 4 turnovers on the year. So first, talk about their offense.
Athletic. I mean, it starts with their guys up front. They're very athletic and can move and get to the second level. Rab makes things happen, and he is he's very smart, you know, and they run this run-pass option type offense, and so they keep you on your toes. There's always 2 or 3 options for the quarterback to give to the running back or to pull it out, and, you know, they've gotten a lot of guys on big plays downfield where you're stepping up for the run, and the guy just is running free. So he's very good with the ball and takes care of it. So, and that's the reason they're winning. I mean, they've been successful on offense.
And defensively for Midwestern State, they're forcing turnovers themselves, and they're pretty stingy against the run as well. When you look at this game on Saturday, last year you go back and the Buffs upset Midwestern State in a very similar situation. Midwestern was number 4 in the nation last year. Game played over at Kimbrough Stadium, and the Buffs win 35-27. This year, similar situation, 2 different teams. What does your team need to do to make it 2 years in a row for the Buffs to knock off the Mustangs?
It's the same thing that we did last week, and that when we beat CSU Pueblo, we got to get turnovers. I mean, when you play a team this talented, that is this good, and you have to make some momentum for yourself, and turnovers is the way to do it. And we got to play mistake-free. We got to play very gap sound on defense and execute. And it's just like playing a triple option. You have to make sure all facets are covered, and when you don't do that, they strike quickly. Offensively, we got to establish a run and help keep our defense off the field.
Sure.
And I think we can get some creases in there and get guys running. We can't turn the ball over either. I mean, that's been kind of something that's hurt us and really taken us out of some games, in all honesty. And if we can create turnovers and be gap sound and do our job on defense, control the clock and the ball on offense, it's very easier said than done because you're playing a great team. So it should be exciting.
Yeah. But fans, Saturday, 8 p.m. is the kickoff. Again, a late kickoff in Wichita Falls. WT at number 5 ranked Midwestern State from Memorial Stadium in Wichita Falls. And again, we'll have that game for you on Lone Star 98.7. Mike Roden will have the pregame for you starting at 7 o'clock. And then at 8 o'clock, Kent Johnson down on the sidelines, Bryce Sheets, and myself will bring you that broadcast. Just cue up the video and then turn over to Lone Star 98.7 on your mobile device, and you'll have the audio there as well. Buff fans, don't forget, visit GoBuffsGo.com to get your live video, your live stats, and also post-game highlights and video as well. That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of The Game Plan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.